Basketball parent, you already know how expensive the fees are and how fast it all adds up. But let me tell you about Darnell and Tasha. They're 40, married, two kids. Their oldest is a straight up hooper. Every weekend it was basketball tournaments, traveling, hotels, trainers, tournament entry fees, mixtapes, the whole nine. Every paycheck, every weekend went into the dream. Because in their minds, maybe just maybe their son could land that D1 scholarship. But here's the part that nobody talks about. While they're building their son's basketball future, they weren't building anything for themselves. Then it happened. Darnell got in a car accident. Not fatal, thank God, but enough to sideline him for 3 months. No work, no paycheck, bills still coming. When I asked what they did when the check stopped, Darnell said, "We panicked. The savings disappeared quick. We maxed out the credit cards just to keep food on the table. And all I had was a $50,000 life insurance policy through work. If I couldn't go back, we'd have nothing. Nothing for us, nothing for the kids." And here's the painful part. They were doing what everybody calls responsible. Together, they were putting about $2,500 a month into their 401k at work, money they couldn't touch until retirement. And on top of that, they had an old 401k they didn't even realize they still had just sitting there collecting dust. When we checked it, it was about $90,000. So think about that. Thousands every month in the tournaments, trainers, travel, mixtape, thousands locked away in accounts they couldn't even touch, and even money they didn't even have just sitting idle, with their own future completely exposed. That's when Darnell looked me straight in the eye and said, "We've been putting everything into our son's dream, but if something happens to me, it all ends. My family will be starting over. That can't be the story." So we used the lift method. So if they ever had another accident, they could tap into their living benefits while they're still here. And on top of that, we position their money to build passive income that grows tax free. And if something ever happened to them, their family would be protected with the death benefit. Darnell said to me, "This isn't optional anymore. This is survival. I never want to feel powerless like that again." Later, I asked how life feels now compared to back then. Darnell leaned and said, "It's night and day. I don't worry about losing everything. If I get hurt again, we got protection. We can tap into our cash if we need it, and our money's growing tax free. For the first time, we're not just paying bills and praying. We actually got a plan." Here's what stood out to me. Before the accident, they thought they were fine, but in just 3 months, the savings were gone. Their credit cards were maxed, and their family was one step away from losing everything. That's why this became their number one priority, because one injury, one layoff, one accident is all it takes is to erase everything you've built. Comment the word hoops if you want to see exactly what Darnell and Tasha did, and I'll show you how we structured their plan using the lift method.